ପାଇବାରୁ ସେ କିଛି ଭଗବାନଙ୍କର ଭଜନ ଗାଇ ଆମମାନଙ୍କୁ ଶୁଣେଇବେ। ଆଉ 10 ମିନିଟ୍ ପରେ ଆମେ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟକ୍ରମ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିବା। ପରମିନ୍ଦ
नमस्कार, जय जगन्नाथ आपण मान समस्त को। वर्तमान मु गोटे रिलेटिवली नुआ भजन रु स्टार्ट करी। जय जगन्नाथ।
खाली खाली आसी
ବିଶ୍ୱକର ହେ ମତେ ବିଶ୍ୱବିହାରୀ। ଜୟ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ।
ଆଉ ଗୋଟିଏ ଗାଆନ୍ତୁ।
ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ମୁଁ ଦ୍ୱିତୀୟ ଭଜନ ଗାଇବାକୁ ଯାଉଛି। ଏ ଭଜନଟି ବହୁତ ପୁରୁଣା ଭଜନ, ଆଉ ସବୁଠୁ ଭଲ ଭଜନ ଯିଏ ସ୍ୱର୍ଗତ ପ୍ରଫୁଲ୍ଲକର ମ୍ୟୁଜିକ୍ ଡାଇରେକ୍ସନରେ ପ୍ରଣକିଶୋର ପଟ୍ଟନାୟକ ଗାଇଥିଲେ, ରେ ଆତ୍ମନିଦ୍ରା ପରିହାରୀ। रे आत्मन निद्रा परिहारी, फेड़ी चिंतार लोचन कर कर निरीक्षण, निशब्दे जीवन स्रोत धाउछि किपरि, भेटिबाकु मृत्यु सिंधु कराल लहरी रे आत्मन निद्रा परिहारी। कि बेगरे जाउछि चाली, कि बेगरे जाउछि चाली, सेहि स्रोत संगे भासी जीवनर सुख राशि, जाहार स्मरणे नर शोक श्वास ढाली, अतीतको उद्बोधई वृथा भाड़ी भाड़ी रे आत्मन निद्रा परिहारी। हे ईश्वर पतित तारण, हे ईश्वर पतित तारण, प्राणर निरंजन भय विघ्न विनाशन, तुम्हें प्रभु संतापित प्राणर चंदन, संसार विषाक्त नेत्रे तुमे हे अंजन रे आत्मन निद्रा परिहारी, फेड़ी चिंतार लोचन कर कर निरीक्षण, निशब्दे जीवन स्रोत धाउछि किपरि, भेटिबाकु मृत्यु सिंधु कराल लहरी रे आत्मन निद्रा परिहारी। जय जगन्नाथ।
अति सुंदर, धन्यवाद धन्यवाद अरविंद बाबू, खूब सुंदर भाव में भजन टी गाई आपण आम आरंभ करने जाऊँ आज अधिवेशन।
जय जगन्नाथ।
ओसा स्पिरिचुअल फोरम आनुकूल्य अनुष्ठित आज वेबिनार स्पिरिचुअल पाठचक्र को आपण मानकु सादर स्वागत और नमस्कार। आज आम सांगे अछंती आमर अतिथि तथा ये अधिवेशन वक्ता श्री रवि नारायण रथ शर्मा। श्री रथ शर्मा hails from Srikshetra Puri, the most important of the 4 dhams or pilgrimage sites for every Hindu. He is son of Pandit Padma Shri Sadashiva Ratha Sharma, who was deeply knowledgeable about Mahaprabhunkara ବିଭିନ୍ନ ରକମର ପୂଜା ପାର୍ବଣ ନୀତିକାନ୍ତି ଇତ୍ୟାଦି. Keeping in line with the family tradition, Ravi Narayana Babu has also devoted significant amount of time as a research scholar on Jagannath Sanskruti. He was part of the temple management committee. He holds a degree in MBA and worked for MNCs. Currently, he runs a telecom company as its CEO. Apart from his professional work, he is constantly involved in delivering talks, conducting workshops, and has published several articles on the practices and traditions of Lord Jagannath. An entrepreneur and a staunch devotee of the Lord, he has dedicated his life to the service of the rural poor of Odisha. At present, he runs a yogashram and a charitable hospital in Puri. Today, we will listen from him on the topic Mahaprabhunkara Parva Parvani, festivities of Sri Jagannath. So with that, we'll start the webinar. But before we start the webinar, just a quick reminder about few house rules, which are standard in all our webinars, but I will just repeat it for the sake of compliance. The talk will be about 45 to 50 minutes, and it will be followed by Q&A. So you are requested not to ask questions during the discourse. However, feel free to type your questions in the chat box, and we will collect them and will place your written questions with our guest speaker at the end of the talk. And after the talk, you may also raise hand in Zoom, and you will get your turn to ask questions. But please be brief while asking your questions to the speaker. Last but not the least, may we request you to kindly turn on your webcam and please mute your mic. With that, may I request Ravi Narayana Babu to start the talk. Hari Om.
Tadvishtum paramam padam shada pasyanti shurayo divivam chakshuratatam. Jai Jagannath. My brothers and sisters, it's a great opportunity to speak to you. And I'm just outlining my 45 minutes with you. There will be 3 phases of my speech to you. The first phase, I'll be explaining to you as to how these yatras or celebrations or uchavas have come to its place. How? This is part 1. Part 2, I'll be explaining about the nitis or the celebrations, which are of basically 3 types. The special festivals of the special jatras, part 1A, part 2A, part 2B, the daily rituals of Lord Jagannath, and part 3, the annual festivals of Lord Jagannath. And the third will be the core festivals of Lord Jagannath. And the fourth will be your question answers. The 45 minutes or 40 minutes is actually a very small time to touch all these elements, but I would precisely touch all of them and will try to clarify. I'm starting the phase 1, how the rituals have come to its place today. See, today when we start a topic on Lord Jagannath, or even when we take Mahaprasad in anybody's place or in any situations, we start with a sloka like Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Parabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te. This sloka gives 2 prominent points. It talks about a place called Nilachal. It talks about the Trinities. But this sloka actually came during the 14th or 15th century, when the Bhakti revolution were leading in the society, especially by Nanak, Ramananda, and Chaitanya. That is the time this sloka started becoming very common with the people of in Odisha especially. Now let us go back little back into history. Let's take the Tantra Jamal, which basically is a grantha which was drafted even before Padma Puran, Brahma Puran. Padma Puran was supposed to be drafted in the 4th century AD, and Brahma Puran was drafted in 3rd century AD. And both these Mahapuranas have got mention about a grantha called Tantra Jamala. In Tantra Jamala, there is a sloka. Bharate cha utkalo dese bhushvarga purusattamam darurupi Jagannatha bhaktanama bhayaprada. So in this sloka also, there are two things which are very clearly mentioned, like the one I mentioned in the first sloka. It talks about a place called Purusottamam. Secondly, it talks about Lord Jagannath. In the first sloka, it talked about Nilachala. In second sloka, it mentioned about Purusottamam, and Purusottam, this second sloka is dated back to 100 AD. Now I am coming back still a little before that. Many people have tried to explain Lord Jagannath and its culture. And one basic abstract metaphysical explanation was rediscovered. Rediscovered, I'm underlining the word rediscovered by Adi Sankaracharya, where he explained two ends, Parasakti and Aparasakti. What is Parasakti? Is the power itself. Aparasakti, power rested. And there is a bridge in between Parasakti and Aparasakti, which you call Prakriti. This phenomenon has been well explained by Sankaracharya. Prakarante, there is a sloka you can hear here. Madhye Devi Paratpara Bhagavati Japrakriti Rupini Nirlipta Gupta Deha Trijagata Janani Sukma Rupa Vichitra Devi Mananda Kanda Kanakatanudharam Sarpaso Bhagya Rupam Dehi Me Bhakti Mukti Haripada Jugale Jogamaya Spara. So this sloka, which traces back to Vedic period, says that Lord Jagannath and Balabhadra being at two ends, in between is the Prakriti Swarupa Ma Kampilyavasini Bhagavati Subhadra, bridges the Parasakti and Aparasakti as a Jogam. So now it goes back to the Vedic period. Trinity, the concept of Trinity has been traced back literally during Vedic period. Now what happens? The power itself, Lord Jagannath, is centering around Lord Jagannath, Parasakti. What he did, Jagannath himself wanted to play within himself. That gave the birth to Jai Vijay, who were appointed as their gatekeepers. This is a Leela. I'm talking about a Leela. And when Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatana, Kapila, these four rishis who came from other celestial bodies, wanted to visit Mahavishnu, they were not allowed. The rishis, they cursed him. They cursed Jai Vijay. Jai Vijay appraised Lord Vishnu, the three rishis had come, I didn't allow them, and they have cursed me. But God has created this Leela. He said, you don't worry. They have given the curse that you will have 3 generations, you will suffer. I will personally come down to give you moksha. You will all be free. The first, he came as Hiranyaksha, the first pair, he came as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakasya. Both were saved by Varaha and Nrsimha respectively. In Krateya, they came as Ravan and Kumbhakarna. Ram came down and gave them moksha. In Dwapara, it is Sisupal and Kansa came, and Bhagavat Brajendranandana Sri Krishna saved. So, a simple wish at the power center gave a friction, Leelas were created. And the Leelas, when responded by the people, becomes Yatra. This Ram Leela, Krishna Leela, they are as per the wishes of the power itself. Now, when these Leelas were created, how it has come as ritis or rituals? These rituals were patronized by the kings and the rishis or hermitages. Nowadays, and of late, the kings started patronizing these festivals, but previous to that, the rishis patronized, acharyas patronized these rituals, and they became nitis. That is how, over a period of time, that means the rituals which were created by the rishis were older than the rituals created by the emperors of the king. Now, these rituals have stayed from those periods. Now, if you look at, now this is part 1 is over. This is how, when the Parasakti, the power itself, wanted to play with himself, the Leelas were created, and the Leelas were triggered with triggered to come to the people. People responded, and the celebrations have come to stay. Now, the celebrations or the yatras are basically 3 types. One is the special celebrations, special yatras. What are these special yatras? I'll explain to you. The second part comes is the daily rituals. And the third one is the annual festivals. It is not in any specific order, but just to make it convenient and to put them into the time frame that we are interacting with you, I am taking the first as what are these special ones. The first one about the special festivals of Lord Jagannath is Navakaleva. As the name sounds, Navakaleva means new body. When this new body is changed, that means there is something which is not changed, which is old. That is the Brahma. The Brahma Pradartha, that does not change. Nobody has seen what it is. Some say, some Puranic people say that it is a tooth of a Buddha. Somebody says it is the half-burnt heart of Lord Krishna. When Jagannath Kshetra has become a primary center of Vedic rituals, Veda, which has about 1 lakh shlokas and mantras, oriented by the Karma Kandas, you think a tooth or a half-burnt element have been kept with Mahaprabhu Lord Jagannath? It is not. It has got no Shastriya background at all. The Brahma, nobody has seen, nobody has explained it. It has been apurasi. What we see, what we have heard, that the people, those who change the Brahma, when they come out after completing the Brahma Parivartan, the Brahma change, Brahma, shifting the Brahma, they see the sandalwood, the tulsi, which were given 18 years back, 19 years back, or 12 years back, remained as fresh as the previous ones. That is the only lively element that we come across during Navakalevar. So the Kalevar changes, the body changes, the soul does not change. When it happens, let me explain to you. There are two types of months which we celebrate. One is lunar and the solar. The Chandrayan and it starts from Purnima to Amavasya and Sankranti to Sankranti. There is a time lapse. When the time lapse gets accumulated and become 1 month, that become extra month is called Malamas. Yeah, month of Purushottama Mas. And when this Purushottama Mas could be Baisak, could be Yester, could be Asad. When it is Asad, when there are 2 Asad, then the Navakalevar festival starts. In technically speaking, between one Sankranti and another Sankranti, if there are 2 Amavasyas, then it becomes 1 month extra and the Navakalevar start taking place. Navakalevar normally takes about 12 years or it takes about 18 years generally. Last year it happened in 2015. And of course, next when it will come, we haven't calculated as yet. This is a special festival, we call it Navakalevar. It starts with the Pausa Kushna Pakhya, Chaitra Kushna Pakhya Dasami Tito, and it continues for about 45 days till Lord Jagannath returns to the main temple, main sanctuary. The other special festival is about Nagarjuna Vesa. That is also a Yatra. What it is? What happens normally, the last 5 days of Kartika Mahina is of 5 days. Last 5 days is known as Panchuka. If from Ekadasi to Purnima there are 6 days, on the 6th day, the Nagarjuna Vesa takes place. It doesn't come so frequently. It like Navakalevar, it comes around 12 years and 18 years and so on and so forth. Similarly, 6th day, Aja Panchuka also comes very rarely it comes. So that becomes another special festival of Lord Jagannath. Raghunath Vesa, which happened in 1904. After that, it has not happened. It is a concluding function of Ram Leela. It happens in the month of Baisak. It has to be in the Pusya Karkata, Pusya Nakshatra and Karkato Rasi. When they are combined with on a Thursday, then on that day, the Raghunath Vesa takes place. So these are some of the, like I mentioned, they are the 3 important festivals which are very exclusive. They do not happen in 1 year and very special in nature. Now, let me come back to the daily rituals of Lord Jagannath. What happens, the daily rituals, you must be knowing a little bit about it. It starts with Dwarafita and Mangala Arati. There are so many rituals in one particular day. I remember there was a team which went to other South Indian temples in last 3-4 years back. The priests of Lord Jagannath were told to observe the discipline which other South Indian temples are maintaining. It was found that most of the rituals in South Indian temples are very specific and very limited. If you see the daily rituals of Lord Jagannath, you know, it is so huge and so much. It starts with Dwarafita, Vitara Sauda, Mangalarati, Mailam, Avakas, Besa, Darsana, one more, again Besa, again food, again Besa, again food, again Besa. You know, it continues on a very normal day. So it becomes really difficult to streamline the public viewing to Lord Jagannath, even on a normal day. In normal day, it starts with Mangala Arati. Let me explain to you what is the relevance of Mangala Arati. Mangala Arati starts with a little light sound and light music. Before the door opens, there are certain specific bhajans which are recited outside near Garuda Stamba, and that sound goes to the Lord. It is believed it goes to the Lord. And this little sound, together with the Mangala Arati rituals, stimulates the 5 Panchabhutas of Lord Jagannath. In the modern science, we say that the moment you get out of your bed, don't rush out of your bed. Take time, cool, go and do your work. Same principle applies. Light music is given, and a heat is given in terms of arati. Karpura is given to give extra oxygen, and a few other items are also given to stimulate the Panchatattva of Lord Jagannath, and the Mangala Arati takes place. After the Mangala Arati, it becomes Avakas, which takes care of the brushing and the bathing part of it, which goes actually in a very royal manner. The Dantakati which is used is called Muturi. It is of 12 angulas. So roughly it comes to about 12 inches. And once it is used, it is thrown away. They also use a special toothpaste prepared by the priest and with Karpura. And then the bathing takes place, and the bathing takes place with Panchamrita. Paya pratibhyam payo sadhishu paya dibbe antarikhe payada payasa santubhadyam dadhikravan akariso jesto rasasyavadina shiravina mukhakrata pranayam dvamskarishatra madhuvata rutayate madhu karamti simdava. Like, all Panchamrita, they are given a mantra suddhi, and then these Panchamritas, they are used for the bathing of Lord Jagannath. When this bathing takes place, the Khuri Nayaka, he reads out the program of the day, like we people do in a busy schedule. We see the day's program when we either take the breakfast on the table or when we are reading the newspaper in our drawing room. Lord Jagannath listens to the entire agenda of the day when he takes the bath. The Khuri Nayaka prepares what is the position of the Rasi, what is the position of the Nakshatra, where you are supposed to, which direction you are supposed to go for better, which direction you should not go, which color of dress you should wear. These are the things the Khuri Nayaka reads it out. He is the astrologer of the Lord. When the bathing is completed, the dresses are also provided in a very, very royalistic way. And there are different colors which are exclusively used. For example, on the Ravivar, on Sunday, the color red cloth is given. Shombar, it is white with black spots are given. And the Budhavar, it's like a 5 color. Then next day, it is blue color. On Thursday, it is a yellow color. On Friday, it is white. On Saturday, it is black. So this is the color protocol which are given to the dressing sense of Lord Jagannath, and they are pure cottons. They are pure cottons which are being used after the bath. Similarly, then the darshan takes place. Then Vesa takes place, then breakfast. Breakfast also, he takes very specific items like the preparation of coconut, then khoi, then, also enduri pitha. So like idli, we call it. They are the breakfast, we give it to the Lord. Then starter, then the main food. It continues till three times of vogas are offered to Lord Jagannath during a normal day. Then at the end, when Barsingar Vesa takes place, which is again a royal presentation of Lord Jagannath's sleeping procedure. It's very, very interesting. Fortunately, I had been to USA in 2015. I showcased the Bodasingara Vesa in Nashville. And they were very, very surprised to see how beautiful it was. It is really, so it is you people that you must see it. Now you are hearing it a lot. Like I have been telling you, and you have been hearing, or you might be hearing from other people, but it is time for you to showcase these incidences, like how the bathing takes place, how this Bodasingara takes place. When the Bodasingara Vesa takes place, you will find that there will be people who will be holding chhatri. There will be people who will be holding tarasa. There will be people who will be reciting Jayadev's Gitovinda. There will be people who will be dancing. There will be one more group of people who will be bringing Nidra Devi to the place of Lord Jagannath. There will be people who will be controlling the lights of the men's sanctorium. There will be people who will be bringing beds to the Lord Jagannath, and will be, all these coordinations will be taking to give me a very, very majestic royal sleeping procedure of Lord Jagannath, and that happens late in the evening. So this is how a daily ritual takes place. It starts with the Mangala Arati. It goes for bath, then it goes for the starter, then breakfast, then food, then Vesa changes. Then again food, the Vesa change. Then a break for a while, then again Vesa, then the main dinner, then Bodasingara, and then Paudani. This is what a daily ritual happens in Jagannath's temple. And besides this, when this will be happening in Lord Jagannath main sanctorium, there will be few parallel other functions that are supposed to happen, like Surya Puja, Rosa Homa. That means, they will be preparing food in Jagannath's main kitchen. So Surya Puja, Rosa Homa, Jai Vijay Puja of Jai Vijay, and the bathing of other presiding deities around Lord Jagannath, they will also be performed in a particular manner, not just conveniently whenever it happens. It has got a protocol, like when the bathing ceremony will be taking place of Lord Jagannath, that is the time the yajna will be happening inside the kitchen. So that is a protocol. This is how the daily ritual takes place of Lord Jagannath. Now, let me explain to you the annual festivals. What are these annual festivals? In the month of Vaisakh, it starts with Pana Sankranti, then Chandan Jatra, then Nrsimha Janma. They are the three major festivals of Lord Jagannath in the month of Vaisakh. In the month of Jyeshtha, it is Shiva Vivaha, the Shital Sashti festival, Rukmini Harana Ekadasi, the wedding of Brajendra Nandan, and Snan Purnima. In the month of Asada, it is Rath Yatra, Basumati Snan, and Harishan Ekadasi. In the month of Shravana, it is Julana Jatra, Balabhadra Janma, Prathamashtami, Rakhi Purnima. In Bhadrav Mahina, it is Janmashtami, Nandachava, Kaliya Dalan Ekadasi, Ganesh Puja. In the month of Asvina, Durga Puja, Dasahara, Gazalakshmi Puja, Kumar Purnima. Each and every month, there are 4 or 5 festivals. Are these festivals pertains to Lord Jagannath to its core? No. Nrsimha Janma is celebrated in the month of Vaisakh. It is not a part of the core festivals of Lord Jagannath. It has come to at a very later stage. In the month of Jyeshtha, for example, Shiva Vivaha Shital Sashti. Is it a core festival of Lord Jagannath? No, it is not. You talk about in the month of Shravan, it is Jhulan Yatra. Is it a core function of Lord Jagannath? No. More importantly, Janmashtami, is it a core function of Lord Jagannath? No. You talk about in the month of Aswin, Durgotchava, Durga Puja, which happens for 16 days. Is it a core function of Lord Jagannath? No. There are many festivals from Baisakh to Chaitra. Many. Every week there is a festival. And apparently, if you look at like Janmashtami, Shivratri, Deepavali, Shama Puja, they are not the core festivals or yatras of Lord Jagannath. They have come at a later stage as a rituals of Lord Jagannath, mostly patronized by the kings, not by rishis. They have come to place at a very later stage, especially during Puran period, and they have stayed. I'll give an example like the introduction of Mahaprasad, the so-called Avada, Dalma, etc., etc. They came to the practice, they came to place during Ramanam. He established the Maramatha and introduced the Arna Bhoga, Anna Chhatra Bhoga of Lord Jagannath. That is how the Mahaprasad came into the place. Look at Durga Puja, which is not a part of a core festivals of Lord Jagannath. Anybody can be surprised. A 16 days of festival of Lord Jagannath, where the Durgotchava is become a family festival, a household festival of Odisha. You know, it is not. It doesn't become a core function, core celebration of Lord Jagannath. So, what are those core functions of Lord Jagannath? Jagannath Jatra, Mukhya Jatra kon? Ko guda ko se Mukhya Jatra? That is the third point which I am going to explain. The first, we call it Dvadas Jatras of Lord Jagannath. One more thing I would say, why the Lord Jagannath's festivals are cultural in its perspective. You go to Vrindavan, you will find the festivals are primarily related to Lord Krishna Brajendrananthan. You go to Bengal, you will find most of the festivals are either related to Durga or Kali. You go to Maharashtra, you'll find the festivals are related to Prabhu Sri Ganesh. You go to South, either it is related to Shivji or you relate to Devis. But if you look at the festivals, either created by the kings or emperors or created by rishis or maharishis, they touch each and every god. You talk about Chandan Yatra, it continues for 42 days. It celebrates Lord Krishna, Madhusudana. Precisely, technically, Madhusudana. The festival of Madhusudana is celebrated for 42 days. You talk about Jhulan Yatra, which is celebrated primarily in the northern India. It is celebrated for 7 days. You talk about Durga Puja, which is primarily celebrated in Bengal. It's Bengal for a few days. It is celebrated for 16 days in Jagannath temple. So this becomes a cultural hub. This culture of Lord Jagannath has embraced all the god and goddesses, and the celebration of all the god and goddesses are at par. That is called culture. We celebrate all. Even then, they do not constitute the core functions of Lord Jagannath. Lord Jagannath has got only 12, 13 festivals. One is actually not main, but we call it 13 festival. Dvadas Jatra is main. What are these Dvadas Jatra? That is the third stage, third page of my topic. The first is Akshaya Tritiya. Akshaya Tritiya, you see what are the basic element of these Dvadas Jatras? And they are primarily either created by the Acharyas or they are related to the astronomical positioning of sun and the orbit, sun and orbit, sun's orbit and its position. Either they are being patronized by the rishis or they are celebrated because of the Earth's position in the sun, in the orbit around the sun. So you can imagine how advanced we were in terms of devising the celebrations of Lord Jagannath. They are mostly astronomical in nature. The first one is Akshaya Tritiya. It is also known as the birthday of Parsuram. It is also the day in the Satyajuga entered. It is also the day on which the Krita also entered. And out of this Kali Yuga, 5,124 years have passed. And this Akshaya Tritiya starts with Chandan Jatra and the beginning of Rath making, chariot making. This is the day also Krishna made Sudama. So that means the festival is so old, the contemporaries have been created on these dates. Krishna made Sudama, that is in Dwapara Yuga. So there are also important events which have happened during Akshaya Tritiya. So you can imagine the first festival of Vaisakha. It pertains as the first festival of Lord Jagannath as one of the Dvadasa Jatras. And the second is the Snana Purnima. Snana Purnima, the event is older than Rath Yatra. It is also known as Mancha Snan or Deva Snana Purnima. This is the second and is also the birthday of Lord Jagannath. This happens, this is performed, this is celebrated on a Jesta Nakshatra day. Look, mark this. It is on a Jesta Nakshatra equation. Lords are taken for the first time from the men's sanctorium to the Snana Mandapam. You know, historically speaking, there are 3 occasions the main lords were being brought from men's sanctorium. One is Snana Purnima. Second is Rath Yatra. Previously, there was one more occasion in which the lords, the Jagannath, Balabhadra, Subhadra were also being taken out on the Dolapur River. But in 15th century, there was a damage to the Sriyanga of Balabhadra. After that, that ritual was stopped. So there are 2 occasions Lord Jagannath come out from the temple. One occasion is at Snana Purnima. It comes out from the main sanctorium to the Devasnana Mandapam and to take the bath. The other one is for the Rath Yatra. The next is Rath Yatra. That is also one of the Dvadashi Yatras. You know more about, if I start speaking about Rath Yatra, will probably take a long time. Then look at the other festivals of Lord Jagannath. Next is Harisayana Ekadasi. What is that Ekadasi? The moment Lord Jagannath returns from Gundicha Ghar, the Sunavesa takes place. After that, Lord Jagannath goes inside the main sanctorium and then he goes for a sleep for 6 months. This is the time called Chaturmasya, all the bathing festivals, like after the Lord goes for a sleep, then after Snan Purnima is Balabhadra Janma, then is Krishna Janma, then is Bhagavati Ma Ambika's bath, Bhamana Janma, Dhanvantari Janma, Bhagavata Janma, Vishwakarma's birthday. All birthdays are celebrated within these 4 months. That is from the Ekadasi of Asada. For 4 months till the end of Kartika Bada Ekadasi, all the Janma festivals do take place. So Ratha Yatra is one of the Dvadashi Yatras. The other Yatras are Harishan Ekadasi, Karkata Sankranti, then Parswa Parivartana Ekadasi, that is in the month of Shravana. Then Kartika Masa Uttapana Ekadasi, like as I said, after the 4 months of sleeping, God takes up, leaves his bed and gets up and gets prepared for another festival. Then Makara Sankranti. Makara Sankranti is one of the Dwadasa Yatras. Then Devabhishek, Krishyabhishek, that is in the month of Posha. And the last one is the Dola Purnima. So if you look at the Dwadasa Yatras, you will find most of the Yatras are phenomenally connected with the positioning of Earth, especially with relation to its nakshatra stars and planets, and the orbit of the Earth. You will never find these kind of festivals being observed on a regular basis with any other temple or any other presiding deities. I remember the Makar Sankranti, there was a document in Madala Panji. There is also a document reflecting from this Madala Panji in a magazine called Srimandira Samachar, which were published in 1970s. Makar Sankranti is now being celebrated on 14th. On the 14th. 1000 years back, Makar Sankranti were celebrated on 30th of December. 2000 years back, Makar Sankrantis were celebrated on 25th of December. What is this Makar Sankranti? Earth stays on Makar Sankranti. That is the day the Bodadina starts. The day begins, the day becomes larger. So the real Bodadina coincides with Makar Sankranti during olden days. That used to happen on 25th of December, which you call the Bodadina. That is how the Bodadina concept has come. So maybe after another 1000 years, the Sankranti will be in the first of that particular month. So these are phenomenally connected with the positioning of sun, its orbit, stars and planets. You will not find this kind of equations with any other presiding deities of any temple. So this is how I explained to you. The first is how the nitis have come into place. Secondly, I explained of the daily rituals of Lord Jagannath. Thirdly, I explained about the annual festivals of Jagannath temple. The fourth I explained is about the rituals core to Lord Jagannath. The most important is that the most popular festivals of Jagannath Puri are not part of core functions of Lord Jagannath. That includes your Jhulan festival, your Chandan Jatra, your Durga Puja, your Jhulan festival, Deepavali, your Shitala Sashti. All these are not part of your Dwadasa Yatras and not core functions of Lord Jagannath. I would rather invite few questions from your end, gentlemen, on this hereafter.
धन्यवाद धन्यवाद रविनारायण बाबू अल्प समय भितर आपण तो माने यथेष्ट ग्राउंड कवर करले महाप्रभुंकर जेतिकी जानी यात्रा अछि हमें से विषय जदि आज आलोचना करिया को बसथांते मे बी वुड हैव टेकन अनदर couple of hours किंतु this is a very brief one and we have a few questions also in the chat box. I will probably start with a very pertinent question that probably arises in many people's mind right now, echoed by our seniority Kirtan Bhai Pacharichanti. Why the rishis created so complex and specific rituals that no common person will be able to practice? So this is the question.
See, there are two ways I will like to answer this. This protocol or the system which have been created are not really difficult. Are not difficult. You tell me, you give a specific example as to how it is tough. It is not tough. I would rather say it is easy, provided you change your setup in the mind. You change the setup in your mind, you change your outlook, your practice or your adherence to that particular procedure will be simpler. It is not difficult. Even if you take as difficult, I'll give an example. We use same brush, one particular type toothpaste, use it for our daily rituals. I give an alternative adopted from Lord Jagannath. I use a use and throw stick, throw it away. Economically speaking, it is cheaper. Secondly, it is hygienic because I am using a herbal one, which has proved its good effect on our teeth. So if I prepare myself, I think it is easier. I came across a gentleman from Spain. He adopted this and he said that was the beginning of adherence to the principles of Hinduism as Sanatan. And today, despite being a very rich man in his country, when he comes to Puri, he has owned so many traditional things. He said, I get a lot of pleasure in doing this. He even stays in a thatched house. I remember when he comes and stays in my ashram, he comes by his own plane, and from Bhubaneswar airport, he speaks Odia, comes back and stays in our ashram with all traditional things. He says, it is so easy, so nice. So it's how we prepare in our own setup, in our mind. It's not difficult at all. You give me an example as to how, give me one example how it is difficult. Then probably I'll be able to specifically reply.
ठीक अच्छे आगे उत्तर तो पाइले हमें नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे आगे आ गोटे क्वेश्चन पचारछंती हमर अखिल बाबू पचारछंती sorry if I misread your name, could be Akhila, could be Akhila. Kindly clarify Ravana Puri nowadays celebrated in Odisha, is it correct as per Jagannath culture? Should we burn the effigy of Ravana? Okay.
No way.
Yeah.
The answer is simple and no. Rationally speaking, Ravana was a person. See, in Satya Yuga also, as I explained in the beginning, positive forces there, negative forces there. You have to take both, always at your side. If Ravana was negative, God himself came and rescued him and gave him moksha. So the question of burning somebody else's figure is no representation of the good things in our life. It is not approved. And believe me, it gets serious reaction among the intellect nowadays. It is being objected by other international organizations too. Keeping those objections apart, this is not approved by any culture, and Lord Jagannath culture, it is not. Even in the Ram Leela, the Ravan is celebrated in such a big way. He being a Pandit and a Brahmin, how could you do that? In Jagannath culture, it has never approved. In the Ram Leela, which is celebrated as Sahijata in Puri, Ravan is given so much of importance. So much of importance. It unites the diversive elements of Puri city. Puri has got 7 Sahis, and 6 of them are, like Badi Sahi. The Ravana of one Sahi goes to the other Sahi as an ambassador of peace. So Jagannath culture does not approve Ravana Puri at all.
धन्यवाद धन्यवाद एटा तो गोटे पूरा आई ओपनिंग आपण आंसर देले कहीं ना रावण पोड़ी एते पॉपुलर अब क्या माने इट ऑल गोज बाय पॉपुलर इमोशंस किंतु जगन्नाथ कल्चर जे जगन्नाथ संस्कृति जे तार पे गोटे अलगा रही सेटा आज जानला पर एते खुशी लागुची जे प्रकृति रे आमे काहा को पोड़ीवार अधिकार भगवान हमको देई नाहंती आमको समस्त के सेलिब्रेट करिवार अधिकार देइछंती इवेन आमे जानि था मध्ये रामायण रे भगवान रामचंद्र निजे ही रावण मरिया पूर्व ताठू राजनीति शिक्षा करिया पे लखन को पठैतिले से सब उदाहरण तो रही आउ इनसिडेंटली जेहेतु आपण उत्तरटी देले मु खाली गोटे जिनस ऐड करिया चाहूची प्रकृति रे आम देश रे मध्ये 4-5टी जगह रे रावण रो मंदिर मध्ये अछि माने आपण जदि गूगल करिवे आपण देखिबे 4-5टी जगह रे रावण को मंदिर अछि जोठी कि रावण इज बीइंग वर्शिप्ड as a great pandit. I mean, he was a pandit, but he had his own, misgivings for which he was punished. आपण तो जहाँ कहले जय विजय अवतारण करथिले तळकू मर्त्य को तांको भगवान ही उद्धार करछंती. So this is all part of प्रभु का लीला, but we have no right basically to denounce a person publicly like we have been doing Ravana Puri. This has been just a unfortunate thing, but it has been happening. So okay.
Ravan Podi, Ravan Podi, that word is so negative in its with its messages. It's not done.
Next question aschi amaro Tushar Swami ko tharu. It's a big long list of questions. Actually it's not one question, multiple questions. I will just ask one at a time. Pacharchanti the difference between Madana Mohana Vigraha and Dolo Govinda Vigraha. Dolo Govinda is one of the Vigraha which should be outside Anasara Patti. We are having trouble procuring the Dolo Govinda Vigraha.
See, there are 3 occasions when the Vijay Pratima go out. They are Madan Mohan, Madhusudana, and Madan Mohan, Madhusudana, and Dolo Govinda. The Murti is one. The Murti is one. The same Murti go to different places and for as a Vijay Pratima. If you really look at the Madan Mohan, the face is like Nrsimha. He holds a bansi that is a representation of Brajendra Nanda. He is also worshipped as Ram. So in the three in one deity. The Anasara Patti that talks about is not neither Krishna, nor Brajendra Nandan, nor Dolo Govinda, nor Madhusudana. They are 3 different elements. One is Narayan, second is Vasudeva, third is Bhuvaneswari. They both are different. Both are different. The Patti, Anasara Patti, and the Vijay Pratima on 3 occasions. They are the 3 occasions. They are one, but Anasara Patti they are different. If you want to have at your end, we can organize. That's a different thing, but they are different. I hope I explained to you. You got it?
प्रणाम जो अनसर पट्टी आगे 10 जन ठाकुरंकर मूर्ति रहंती 10 जनक भितरु से जो प्रथम जो 3 जन कहले वासुदेव से सब ठीक किंतु 10 जनरु सेतिरे मदन मोहन भी अछंती एवं दौल गोविंद भी अछंती हमर लिस्ट रे आमे जो पढुचे लिटरेचर रे 10 जनक भितरे
नै अनसर पट्टी रे केवल
अनसर पट्टी बाहर सुनंतु आपन जो चाटी पडिला चट्टी आगे ठाकुरंकर 10 जन मूर्ति ठाकुर रहंती 10 जनक भितरु सेतिरे मदन मोहन भी लेखा हेची ना दौल गोविंद मध्य लेखा हेची आमे जते बेले मूर्ति किनिया को जाउछु पचारछु हमरा दौल गोविंद मूर्ति दरकारे से कहउचंती से मदन मोहन मूर्ति रे चल जिवो
सही ठीक कहउचंती से मूर्ति गोटे तांको पूजा अर्चना तांकर अलगा
तेना हमर गोटे कम मूर्ति हे जाउछि ना तेना मु से पचारछि सेडा केमिति सेडा हबो ଆମେ ଏଠି
सेटा पूजा तत्व रे से अलगा किंतु एटी मोर टिके कंफ्यूजन होची जे अणसर पट्टी जेताबेला आपण प्लेस करूचंती सेथरे अन्य कोनसी 10टी मूर्ति रहिबार त नाही प्रावधान
अणसर मूर्ति तो 3 जनकर से पट्टी चित्र होईची से रहिले ता छडा बाहर के रहंती भूदेवी रहंती श्रीदेवी रहंती मदन मोहन रहंती रामकृष्ण रहंती नृसिंह रहंती
से दक्षिण घरे रहंती अणसर पट्टी पाखरे से माने रहंती नाही
ना दक्षिण आमर आमे आज्ञा मु ऑस्टिन रे जगन्नाथ सेवा करे आम जेतबेले ठाकुरन को अनसर करंती गुटे गुटे एनक्लोजर करिकरी बाहर आमे पट्टी लगौ सेठी गुटे टेबल रखिकरी ए जो मूर्ति मानकर कहले हमर तो एठी दक्षिण घर किछि सेमिति नाही ना हमर हम जो एठी देश रे तेनु आमे सब ठाकुरन मूर्ति रखु नृसिंह भगवानकर गुटे फोटो रखु मदन मोहन रामकृष्ण भूदेवी श्रीदेवी माधव समस्त मूर्ति लाइन करू ना आपन जदि लिटरेचर रे पढिबे सेते लिखा अछि 10 ठाकुर 10 दिय रहंती से 3 दिय मी मिसिकरी से अनसड पट्टीर 3 ठाकुरंकर सिए भी गणिकरी बुझले कि सेतिरे लिखा अछि दोल गोविंद जणे आ मदन मोहन जणे माने दीटा माने दीटा मूर्ति तेनु आमे कन्फ्यूजन होची
से एक सेही मूर्ति चाप को जानती सेही मूर्ति दोल को जानती दोल गोविंद होई करी बुझले ना जे मदन मोहन हमर चाप रे जे खेलंती जो मूर्ति दोल पूर्णिमा रे से जानती मधुसूदन होई करी ए दोल गोविंद होई करी तेनु गोटिए मूर्ति
हो हो ठीक अछि थैंक यू
आप तुषार स्वामी जी आपण को प्रश्न मु केतेउडी अछि तो पछरे पछरी हमर आ किछि लोक अछंती समस्त टिके चांस देबा तापरे हबदे आपण क्वेश्चन के आउथरा आछी आज्ञा अच्छा हमर दीप्ति पाल पचारछंती व्हाट इज सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ नेत्र उत्सव एंड नव यौवन बेश
see after the anasara the end part of the anasara is netra utshava and nava yauvan darshan first is netra utshava then nava yauvan darshan it may so happen that Nava Yauvana Darshana and Netra Utshava may fall in one day. If it is on one day, first the Netra Utshava takes place. Netra Utshava means the Netra Utshava, then is Nava Yauvana Darshana. That means everybody will see the new figure of Lord Jagannath. But sometimes it is on 2 days. Sometimes it is on 1 day. Procedure-wise, first is Netra Utshava, then Nava Yauvana Darshan. It is after the Anasara.
अणसर पर कोन आज्ञा ठाकुरंकर सब जहा सु जो लिभि जाइथियो हमर माने स्नान पुण्यम सब रंग आउथर करा जानती
पुनर्बार रंग करा जाए से केवल से आखी की स्पर्श करा जाए डोळा दुईटी स्पर्श करा जाए सेटा होची नेत्र उत्सव बाकी सब रंग हेई साथिबे केवल नेत्र उत्सव सेठी हुए नेत्र उत्सव माने सूर्य चंद्र को पूजा करा जाई चंद्रमा मनस जातो चक्षु सूर्य अजायत चंद्र सूर्य को कल्पना करिकरी तांको न पूजा करिकरी तांकर नक्षत्र करा जाय एवं सेटा प्रथम तापरे नवयौवन
ब्यूटीफुल तापरे अनिमा साहू पचारछंती what are few principles we can and must teach kids to help them understand the importance of Jagannath culture?
The first thing is a beautiful question, especially when you are raising it from elsewhere, like US. The first thing is there is no religion is so universal than Lord Jagannath. Is the most universally accepted, least resisted culture of the earth. You even take Mahaprasad. Take just one example of the prasad which is offered to Lord Jagannath can be re-offered to any lord in the earth. When I took Mahaprasad, gave it to Kanyakumari, they said, okay, give it. Arthatranakari, Sadasivakari, Kaivalya lo lupani. He said, is it Kaivalya? I said, yes. They took it and give it on the top of the Lord. Can you take the prasad of any other temple, re-offer it to another Lord? No. But the prasad offered to Lord Jagannath can be taken to any other temple as Mahaprasad. and it is universally accepted. Similarly, this is only a physical phenomenon I explained. But if you talk about the value system, you talk about the procedure, even you talk about the casteism, which is not there in Jagannath temple. Each and everybody has rights of seva in Jagannath temple. There is absolutely no scope for any limitation there. So there cannot be any religion which is so broad, which has accepted all kinds of religious doctrines, and yet it has proved different. You talk about Mahaprasad, it is globally accepted. You talk about the puja procedure, you see, the Mahaprasad offered to a dog can also be spared, can also be taken by a Brahmin. A Mahaprasad, a prasad prepared by a Swaropila, which is not a Brahmin, can be offered to Lord Jagannath. Can it happen in any other temple? A non-Brahmin cooking and be offered to the presiding deity? It cannot be, but it happens. So Lord Jagannath's procedure is simplest and it is universal, and if people know, then adherence will not be a problem. It is globally least resisted, universally accepted. And the culture has also shown the same thing. You talk about the Durga Puja, it is celebrated. You talk about Diwali, it is celebrated. You talk about Chandan Yatra, Vrindavan's festival, it is celebrated. All the celebrations of all the lords are equally celebrated. You talk about Ganesh Puja, it is celebrated for 7 days in Jagannath temple. You talk about Ganesh Mahaprabhu, on the birthday, that is on Snan Purnima, he takes the Ganesh vase. You talk about the Raghunath Vesa, the Ramanandis, it is also celebrated in a big way. So these are cultural things, which is the basic root of Lord Jagannath. Therefore, there cannot be a more valued system in terms of religion or culture in anywhere in the world.
बहुत सुंदर कहला आज्ञा माने ताकू जदी मु इठी खाली हमर जो अमेरिका रे जो पर्टिकुलरली जो सब टर्म यूज हुए जदी आमे इक्वालिटी आ डाइवर्सिटी बोली कोन बुझियक जो चाहेबा माने डाइवर्सिटी वर्ड रो मीनिंग जगन्नाथ कल्चर पाखे रे होची लास्ट माने दैट इज डाइवर्स as you can make, that Mahaprabhu
Yes.
is accessible to everybody. And I think this is one speciality with Mahaprabhu Jagannath, जो थे कि आज्ञा सी जड़े महाप्रभु अच्छा पूरा सारा विश्व रे जी कि मंदिर भितर बाहर को आसती कौन जगह विग्रह आज्ञा मंदिर भितर बाहर को आसती केवल जगन्नाथ विग्रह ही मंदिर भितर बाहर को आसे पतित पावन समस्त की दर्शन दियंती एवरीबॉडी कैन एक्सेस एवरीबॉडी कैन व्यू महाप्रभु ऑन द रथ एंड दैट इज हाउ ही इज जगतर नाथ जगन्नाथ से विषय रे कहीं अधिक कहबा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की आज्ञा अच्छा इटा पुनी अखिल बाबू आ गोटे क्वेश्चन पचारिछंती इफ ही हैज टाइम प्लीज आस्क एक्सप्लेन द कांसेप्ट ऑफ दुर्गा माधव वेश विषय पचारिछंती कांसेप्ट ऑफ दुर्गा माधव वेश
See, it's a big topic, but I'll try to touch. See, in India, in Bharatvarsha, there are 4 major Shakti Pitham. There are 4 major Shakti Pitham. If you extend these 4 Pitham, then it becomes 14, then it becomes 51. The 51 Shakti Pithas have got 14. The 14 or the 51 Shakti Pitham have got the 4 important Shakti Pithas. But those 4 Shakti Pithas are most important. The number 1, even not in that order, the Kamakhya, and the North India is near Jalandhar. Third one is Kanyakumari, and the 4th one is Bimala Khetra. In all these 3 places, except Lord Jagannath, there the Shiva and Shakti are worshipped. This Shiva is grounded and Shakti is on top of it. But in Jagannath Khetra, it is Vishnu on down and Shakti on top. So Tantric, for Tantric also, there it is Shiva Shakti equation. Here it is Vishnu Shakti equation. So it is definitely most powerful. And Durga Madhava Upasana has a migration from this basic concept that here it is Vishnu and Shakti. In other places, including all other places like 14 or 51, whoever it is, there it is Shiva Shakti. There is a reason for it, how it happened. Shiva was holding and Sudarshan was cutting all the pieces. The last one on the hand was the leg or the waist below that. When Sudarshan came and prayed, Lord Jagannath himself asked Shiva to surrender it there, and he offered puja to Lord Jagannath. So in tantric sense, in the Shakta Parampara, Durga Madhava Upasana is a migration from Shiva Shakti Upasana and is considered as the supreme most tantric place because of this reason. And it is in only at Puri, none other place.
सुंदर, अति सुंदर, ब्यूटीफुल लगे। एबे आमे हमर स्वामी जींकर गोटे जोड़े प्रश्न अछि देखि आसे ठीक आसीबा। Please explain the difference between Madhava and Sri Jagannath Vigraha as they are alike on Ratna Bedi.
See, in Madhava is the first, like in the rituals, when a consecration takes place, we keep one jupo. You go to any temple, there will be a temple, there will be a presiding deity inside the temple, but outside the temple, there will be a jupo. The jupo is the witness for all the work, all the consecration work that was done to have lords inside the temple. Any temple. You go to South India, there are three basic type of temples. South Indian temples, as per the Shilpa Shastra, South Indian temples, the Kalingan style, and the North Indian styles. Of course, there are no North Indian temples nowadays. They are all being abolished or being broken because of invasions or whatever. Out of these three categories, wherever there is a temple, you will find outside the temple on the Aishanya Kona, you will find a jupa. Jupa is the witness for all the consecrational work of the temple. Here in Jagannath temple, Madhava is the witness for all the consecration work, all the generations of lords who were in the main sanctuary. He is there. He never leaves the Ratna Singhasan except one occasion. Like Durga Madhava Puja I mentioned, that is the only occasion he comes out from the main sanctuary. Even during Rath Yatra also, he doesn't come out. He stays, he always stays there. He is the witness of all the functions related to Lord Jagannath and all the generations which has gone through different Navakalevas. He's there. Madhava is never changed. He is the original and the first Jupa of the founded there from the beginning of the Lord Jagannath. People often ask me, so what is Nilamadhava? What is Madhava? Nilamadhava was in the form of a saligram. Madhava was the first jupa which was made of wood. If we go why there was a difference, it will take quite a long time. But basically, Madhava is the origin from which all other things, either Nilamadhava or Lord Jagannath, came as a worshipping idol. He is original to the main sanctuary.
More about a question again. Namaskar. Manoj, can I go now?
Go, Pachar.
ଆପଣ କହିଲେ जो ନୀଳମାଧବଙ୍କ କଥା କହିଲେ ଏବେ ତାପରେ ମଝିରେ ପ୍ରଥମରେ କହିଥିଲେ ଆପଣ जो Trinity concept started with in the maybe 100 AD. Did you mention about then the Trinity concept started? Because before then it was just one murti, or right? Correct. So you also related the Trinity concept to Bhagavan Shankaracharya's Para, Apara, and Yogamaya. Would it be correct to say or accurate to say that in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when the Lord has talked about Kshara, Akshara, and Purushottama, is that the same concept or is there a difference?
Absolutely the same. Absolutely. You talk about Bhagavad Gita, this is same. I'll talk about the Markandeya Purana, from which the Saptasati Chandi has been formed. What it says, Lord Jagannath, Balabhadra, and Subhadra, Lord Jagannath, Subhadra, and Balabhadra, they are based on Agni Mandalam, Vayu Mandalam, Surya Mandalam. Agni Mandalam is Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya. Ru, Jajur, Shama, Sattva Guna Yukta. So, and it is the same thing which Gita said. There is no difference at all. There's no difference at all.
Now, you so beautifully explain these things, but is there a just like in for Lord Ganesh, there is a Ganesh Upanishad. For Ma Durga, there is a Durga Upanishad. There is Lalita Sahasranama or some, then there are different things. It's for Lord Jagannath. Is there a Upanishadic or, it has a Vedic origin, you mentioned about it. Now, is there a Upanishad somewhere or similar something where this concept, the tattvas are defined?
You see, Lord Jagannath is basically a Lord of Vedanta. But that is only one part I'm touching. If you go to the iconic part, it's the most ancient iconic expression. If you talk about Sakta Parampara, you straight go to the Saundarya Lahari explained by Shankaracharya. The same thing. The same God has been interpreted in a different manner with least resistance, least contradictions. See how beautifully Shankaracharya explained that Jagannath as Lord Jagannath, Balabhadra, Subhadra is nothing but this representation of Tripura Sundari.
Yeah.
He explained a sloka, Arthatranakari, sorry, Adya Devi Paratpara Bhagavati Mata Kupasagari Brahmananda Pradayaning Arabadu Sadachakra Chakreswari Maya Mohamayi Janodayakari Brahmanda Bhandodari Trahimang Dimale Sadasukakari Sri Ketra Rajaswari. He said, Lord Jagannath, Balabhadra, Subhadra, all three are put together into Sakta Parampara and represented as Bimala. And she is holding the astra which belongs to Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. Same thing also explained, like Jagannath is on the Agni Mandalam, Subhadra is on Vayu Mandalam, Balabhadra is on Surya Mandalam. He is representing Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, also representing Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. And the sloka is also, look at this, Lord Jagannath created. What this sloka says? Kadagam Chakra Gadeshu Chapa Parigana Suranga Busandi Siro Sankasandadati Karistri Sarbanga Bushabdutam Nidasmat Dvitimasyam Pada Dasaka Sebe Mahakarika Yamustatva Sait Harankamadang Hamtang Madhu Kaitabang. He killed Madhu Kaitaba and sprayed the entire cell to the ocean. From there the creation started. So Chandi is no different from this. Yeah. What Gita said is absolutely the same. What Shankaracharya said in Tripura Sundari in Saundarya Lahari is the same. Only thing is that you can still go back, we can find out what Jainism said, also the same. What Buddhism of late preached is also the same. And what Bhagavata also said, nothing but Stuti Sthiti Pralaya, nothing much. We have explained 2 pages to make it more attractive. But fact remains is that nothing much. Stuti, Sthiti, and Praya. They have been explained by all these granthas.
Mm-hmm. Right. How do you, I'm just curious now, you said this Srishti, Sthiti, and Pralaya. How do you relate those 3 concepts to Jagannath, Balabhadra, and Subhadra?
Ame tuma question ke feri asme a gotte question khali audience naba, we'll come back to you. Jagesh, ठीक है. So last question पचारछन्ति से हमर तुषार स्वामी जी तांकर से सब टिके तांकर असुविधा बद रहउची जगन्नाथ मंदिर रे स्वामी जी आपण निजे पचारते प्रश्नटा जो फॉर दोल यात्रा व्हिच डेटी शुड बी टेकन आउट फॉर होली बोली पचारन सेटा आज्ञा आपण निजे
प्रणाम आज्ञा आ गोटे प्रश्न हमर पॉपुलर डिमांड रे ए वर्ष दोल यात्रा रे आमे हमर मासिक जगन्नाथ पूजा हुए से समय रे आमे को ठाकुर को पदा को नबा मु खबर कागज रे पढुची न्यूज पेपर रे पढुची कुआ होची मदन मोहन गले भूदेवी श्रीदेवी सहित बुलिया पई हमर तालिंक रे किंतु अन्य देखला बेलकू राधा कृष्ण दोल रे जाउचंती आम टेम्पल रे राधा कृष्ण उत्सव विग्रह अच्छी तेणु आम क्या जदि आम मदन मोहन आ भूदेवी श्रीदेवी नहीं गले बुलिया कौन रामकृष्ण ताकू भी नहीं जीवा 4 जन नहीं जीवा ना कौन सीटा केमिति हैंडल कर
मु बुझी गली प्रथम कथा देखंतु इति गोटे जोड़े इश्यू आज जाउची प्रथम राधा कृष्णंकर कथा भूदेवी श्रीदेवी कृष्णंकर ब्रजेंद्र नंदन का सहित ओडिसार परंपरा रे उत्कलीय वैष्णव परंपरा रे व्हिच इज मच ओल्डर 1000 years older than the Vaishnava parampara of Bengal, yeah, Assam. There, Radha is basically a character. Here, Rachayati iti Radha, Aradhayati iti Radha, the person who worships the Lord or who offers bhakti and prayer is the Radha. In Jagannath temple, there is not even a single ritual related to Lord Mahaprabhu. For your kind information. If there is any festival of Radha in the Jagannath temple, it may be fast, but it is not there. Neither it is in Dwadas Jatra, nor in the annual festival, nor even in the daily rituals. Radha is celebrated as separately. No. But along with Krishna or Dola Govinda, it is always Rukmini. Yeah, Lakshmi. So in Odisha Parampara, it is the Bhudevi Sri Devi who goes with Lord Jagannath, Dola Govinda. If the Bhudevi is not there, the Sri Devi, the Lakshmi goes with him, not Radhika. In our village, it is a interpretation because of the Bhagavat, because of the influence of Bhagavat, or because of the Tolo, Bhagavat Tolo, Radha Krishna Tattva has been invaded in this particular manner. But Jagannath Das Bhagavat never says Radha as a character. Therefore, if you are celebrating Dola Purnima, if you are sticking to the principles of Lord Jagannath, then Mahalakshmi will go along with Lord Krishna or Dola Govinda. If you are going to by the principle of the Bhagavat, then you take Radha as a representation of you as a sadhaka. So it's a concept difference. If you are offering puja, then Radha is a representation of your own self, and that goes with Prabhu Sri Krishna. The two basic concepts in Jagannath Kshetra, it is Bhudevi Sri Devi who accompanies Madan Mohan.
Answer is clear, Agya.
और रामकृष्ण मूर्ति की नवा तो दरकार नहीं मु भावे सी भी होली खेलिबे
नो
ओके हाउ ठीक अछि थैंक यू प्रणाम थैंक यू वेरी हेल्पफुल दिस आर वेरी कंफ्यूजिंग कारण आमे आज्ञा मंदिर रे सेवा करू जो प्रैक्टिकल जते प्रॉब्लम आछि आमे काहा को पचारिबू आमे जानि परनु पूजक माने मध्य जानि परनांती सम्मान समस्त विभिन्न निज निजर व्यक्तिगत मत दउचंती जे राधा कृष्णकर प्रेम सबुठारु एटा होछि गोटे प्रेमिक मानकर गोटे अलग प्रकार भाव
I will just take 1 minute. I'll just take 1 minute. You see, the best part of it is that when you take a interpreted answer to your thing, then you are in trouble. Go by the Shastra, which is very, very clear. There is no need of another rule, to follow. The rules are already there, but they have been invaded by the interpretations, which I object. This has created a lot of damage to our culture. Rather than we should be able to create a rational approach. I remember there was a story called Sapnam, in which a Muslim character was glorified within the rituals of Lord Jagannath. Is totally wrong. Is false. By this, the rationality of Lord Jagannath is questioned, especially in the Western part. Like you people will always ask me these questions, or the preachers, that is it a fact? Did you ever see that Lord Jagannath picked up a coconut from somebody? Has anybody seen it? These are matter of abega, bhava. They cannot be placed across the table to convince the greatness of our culture. We have to stick to the basic rules of our Shastra, then it will fall into place. The right thing will fall into right place. The last request to all of you, that you have heard, you will be hearing a lot about Lord Jagannath. Whenever you have such questions, go to a right person who has got a rational approach. And not the least, now it is time for you to showcase. I was requesting Manas Babu that I don't mind going there for my own money, but I would love to show you how Badasinghara Vesa takes place. It is for you to see. I have no problem to go. But yes, you should see how grand it is, how it is celebrated, how people can be taken to peace. And still universally accepted things are there with such a glorious ways. Please do that and take all these things in a very positive way. You will have always answers with the blessings of Lord Jagannath, Balabhadra and Subhadra. Thank you so much.
We are getting close, so we'll just take 2 more questions I have on the chat, then we'll probably close. Okay. We have enough time for 2 questions actually.
Manoj, I have one question.
Yeah. We'll definitely. You are the last person to ask the question, so let me take all the chat finish and then they'll ask. So it is Dipti Pal Pacharchanti. This is a very nice question in my humble opinion. What is the simplest and basic way of worshipping Jagannath at home?
Simple. Every day, you need not sit down for 5 minutes or even meditate for 5 minutes or offer even puja, dhupa, deepa. Nothing is required. Just think in your mind that Prabhu is there. Prabhu, I am for you, you are for me. No puja is required. He does not need dhupakati, he doesn't need naibedya, he doesn't need sringar, he doesn't need anything. He doesn't need anything. You need all of them. What he needs is bhakti. If you have bhakti, wherever you are, even in the bathroom also, you think of him, he will be there. That is enough. That is enough. You don't have to give Sodasa Upachara Puja. You don't have to. Any time, anywhere you find time, just offer your prayer, offer your bhakti. What is bhakti? You have to go through, you have to answer that to yourself. That I probably will not be able to answer to you in a short while. But bhakti has to be there. Let it be bathroom, bedroom, your puja room, or in your office place. You can do that. But in a home, you can always have a place where you can sit down and chat with him. Like I do. Whenever I'm in trouble, I go and walk into my puja room and talk to him. I talk to him. My wife once asked me, what are you talking there? Early days. What are you talking? But I keep talking. He talks to me. You do that?
सही संदर्भरे गोटे जिन सेयार करिया चाहिए एठी समस्त परमिशन रे एबे सुनुथली जने स्वामी सर्वप्रियानंद गोटे जगह टॉक दोथले जने क्वेश्चनर ए प्रकार प्रश्न पचारले ठाकुर केमिति भक्ति करिया बोली से कहले सब दिन जदी तुम ठाकुर को गोड़ पाखरे पड़ी 2 मिनिट पे यू जस्ट क्राई fall at the feet of the Lord and cry your sorrows out. And you get up, you'll feel so good the rest of the day. And if you do it every day, your days will just go calm.
Yes, sir.
So मन भितर जहाँ दुख अच्छी प्रभु को पाखरे पड़ी जस्ट खाली कांदी की 2 टोपा लुह झरी दियो और सब दुख पार हिजु सेतिर.
Correct.
दर कहितले.
Yes. Surrender.
आज्ञा. अच्छा आ गोटे प्रश्न पचारछंती चिन्मयी देवी कहउछंती how a tithi for a day is decided at Puri temple when tithi changes during the day?
In Jagannath temple, it is Udaya Parva. At the point of Surya Udaya, the star and planets who are active, that is the Tithi and Nakshatra of that particular day. Surya Udaya time. Udaya Parva. That is why we say all these celebrations, all the yatras, uchavas are celebrated as per the Nakshatra and Rasi, relevant at the point of sunrise.
So with this, we come to the end of all the questions from our audience. And I will right now hand it over to Jogesh. He will ask his own question he has. And I will also request Jogesh to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of OSS Spiritual Forum. So please, Jogesh, it's all yours right now.
Thank you, Manoj. I just have in continuation of my question, I have a tattva related question again, a representation of the tattvas. The Jagannath, Balabhadra, Subhadra, like you said, Apara, Para, Yogamaya, but also in a colloquial manner, we have also represented them as brothers and sister, like Balabhadra being the oldest of the brothers and Jagannath. Now, does this sister and brother concept, was it I think I'm going to use your word, was it a borrowed concept when Bhagavan Sri Chaitanya visited after that, or was it there before? And what if it was there before, what exactly that brother sister mean here?
The brother sister concept is a Puranic phenomenon which came very late after Chaitanya even.
Oh.
Yes. And of course, there were occasionally this phenomenon was being celebrated, but generally the brother-sister concept came at a very later stage, and it doesn't support the Vedic principles. In Veda, in Sakta Parampara, it is celebrated as Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. Nowhere the brother-sister comes into the picture. So in Rug Jajir Samaveda, in the Vedic Parampara, Lord Jagannath is Rigveda, and Subhadra is Jajurveda, and Balabhadra is Samaveda. Atharva Veda came as an addition, and the question came that whether the Sudarshan is different from the Trinity. No, the answer was no. Veda is always tri, Rug Jajir Sham. Atharva Veda came at a later stage. So the Trinity and Subhadra as a Sudarshan is part of the Trinity. You can also see Sudarshan gets into Subhadra's Rath during Rath Yatra. So precisely it is Trinity, not four lords. Similarly, the concept of brother and sister, which is a very lateral addition, and it is not really backed by Vedic concept. And it is so many Puranic concepts are there. I will not be able to explain much about it.
Yeah, no. Thank you for clarifying that, because it just doesn't make any sense. And then you already answered my other quick question that I was going to ask, a follow-up question on the Sudarshan. Who is Sudarshan? And some say it is the time, representation of the time. Some say it is I don't know what to say, but then the whole concept of a Chaturdhamurti that we hear, those words, Chaturdhamurti, is really not true. It is the Trimurti.
Yes.
And Sudarshan is just a part of that Trimurti rather than a Chaturdhamurti.
Yes. See, Chaturdhamurti is what we normally see and say, okay, there are four figures. It is simple. Visually, optically, we see four figures and four figures. But when you see the practices, the protocols, you find either Sudarshan is with Lord Jagannath or they are with Mahasubhadra. Even when the puja takes place, when the Mangalarati takes place, or when the Mangalaropana takes place, the Puja Panda who offers puja to Lord Jagannath, he offers puja to Sudarshan and Lord Jagannath. And when the Puja Panda offers puja in Rath Yatra, he offers puja to Sudarshan, also to Mahasubhadra. Yeah. So it is always Trinity, and four idols is basically is a matter of optics. You see 4 idols, we tell them Chaturdha Murti.
Oh, thank you so much. I have to offer. I'm privileged to offer the vote of thanks to you, Sri Ratha Sarmaji. This is, I think, I have heard people talk about Lord Jagannath before, many occasions here and there, but I can clearly say I have never listened to somebody with such authority as you have demonstrated here in this talk. The clarity, the confidence, the authority that you have really showed is quite unparalleled, in my opinion. And on behalf of the Orissa Society of the Americas Spiritual Forum, I would humbly like to thank you for being here, for dedicating your valuable time to explain so much about the Mahaprabhu. And we are very grateful for that. You beautifully expounded the origin of this. Actually, to be honest with you, when I first heard about the topic, I could not quite comprehend in my mind the depth you would be able to go into these things. But I thought these would be just Parva Parvanis, this and that. But no, you have gone into tremendous depth into each of these things, and you have related these to not only conveyed a why certain of these, where the origins of these Parva Parvanis are, but what they are and why they are done, what they represent, and so on. And you also differentiated, thankfully, that the core festivities from the non-core, let's say, those who were inspired, those who were patronized by the rishis and the Vedic rishis and the acharyas versus the ones that were politically embraced. And that's a good thing. You also, I think in a question answer session, you said how Jagannath, our culture embraces everything, absorbs everything, and that's beautiful. So I just want to once again thank you for from the bottom of our hearts for you being here and educate us about something we should have known long ago. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, all of you. God bless you all. And you are all great people. And I also feel privileged to be with you for this particular hours. Thank you so much. Jai Jagannath. Jai Jagannath.
And I would like to also thank, before Sri Ratha Sarma started speaking, Aravinda Swami. Oh my God, Aravinda, the two, what do I say? The bhajan, one is a bhajan, the other is a reminder. The two songs you picked, they would immediately instill vairagya into anyone, the most materialistic person. They should instill vairagya. The only problem, Aravinda, is your voice is so melodious and so amazing that is the only problem, block to the vairagya, because I would very easily attach to your voice. It is so beautiful. So thank you for that. I thoroughly enjoyed, and I'm sure everybody did.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Namaskar. Jai Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath.
No, namaskar, Aravinda. The other people I'd like to thank is everybody who has attended this forum. Please keep attending. It's like somebody had asked me, a long time ago, this is, who is more important, the dancer or the audience, the guru or the sishya, the teacher or the student? Well, one does not exist without the other. So therefore, please, you are just as important. Please keep attending these forums and enrich with questions and takeaways and all that. So thank you so much for being here. The other people I need to thank on behalf of our forum is the OSA executives. I think I see Pramod, maybe Gana
was here, but he left.
Yeah, he has left. Okay. All right. Well, the OSA executives for giving us this chance to continue with this forum and bring in the audience from OSA community to get enriched. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. Namaskar. Namaskar.
And I have just one request to our audience. So if you want to hear more enlightening topics like this, please stay in touch with us. We have a WhatsApp group for OSA Spiritual Forum. If you send me an email, I will send you a link to join the group, and that way you can put your request so that we can organize more interesting talks like this. We have quite a few Jagannath temples in United States. So almost everybody has few questions like Tushar Swamiji asked today. So we can get all those things clarified from some really good authoritative figure. And we can also, we can also pick up a few topics which will basically enrich our spiritual journey, to say the least. So with that, we come to the end. I will just recite Shanti Mantra before we call this a wrap. So please join me. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.